Welcome back and hi guys. Today is going to be a little bit of a slow one. I was filming this one by myself, so I'm sorry if it gets a little boring in spots. But today is the end of this project. We're going to get into the sanding and fitting the knife to the sheath. So let's go into doing that. So we moved over here to the belt sander. You don't need to use a belt sander. You could use a knife and actually cut out the shape instead of just roughing it out like I did. But I like using this little belt sander. It's fun. So I have in it right now some pretty low grit sandpaper. I don't know what grit it is. The grit's worn off on the back, but I can tell you it's, yeah, I can't even guess what it is. But anyways, so I have used some lighter grit stuff too. Okay, fine, just get stuck over there. You know, it doesn't matter what grit you use. It eats through it pretty nicely. So I'm gonna get this turned on and start getting it to what I want it. Let's do that. Alright, and there's the sanding done. At least the first step of the sanding. See, I got it as close as I could. Still leaving a little extra room so I can come in and after everything's pinned together and clean it up the last little bit. But now it is time to go back to the workbench and start pinning it together. Alright, so we're back over here at the workbench, and this is where we're gonna work on, like in this corner over here. I couldn't quite get the belt sander in there. Here, I'll take this off and actually show you guys. In this corner here, I couldn't quite get the belt sander in there and clean that up, and then this angle over here is slightly off. So this is where I'm going to clamp it down again so I don't have to deal with it trying to fold on me. And then I'm going to take the knife and come back in and try to get this trimmed up. Like I was saying before, you could do all this with a knife, but I wasn't going to try to be that precise with a blade. I feel like I would have messed it up, and I'm more comfortable with the belt sander, but it doesn't matter what you use. So then, gonna fold it over, work on this corner over here a little bit. Try to get that cleaned up. And I'm trying to get this a little fancier. You don't have to do half of what I'm doing. You can just make a sheath that holds the knife and makes it so nobody gets hurt.
Flip this over, work from this side. And I wouldn't try to go into too much detail right here because we are going to pin this together. So actually I'm going to leave that corner until after we're done, because it may fit, it may look perfect now, but after you're done pinning it all together and getting it to where it will actually hold the knife, then it might shift something and then you have to come in and trim that. So I'm gonna grab the stuff to pin it. Where did those other thingies go? These. So I got this set at the hardware store. Comes with these little grommet things, I think they're called. I don't know. I can never remember what they're called. And then it's got a set of pliers that you set this in here. Then you can squish it and pin everything together. So we're going to take the knife, and my favorite thing about these is that you can take the knife, where are we? There we are. You can take the knife, lay it on top like this, and then since these have a little point on them, you can line up where you want the grommet to be and then pinch it and it'll leave a mark. I've made notes over here on where I wanted them to be. Okay, so I want one right here. So I'm going to line that up, give myself some room to sand because it's still not the perfect shape that we're looking for. And then once that's lined up, I'll pinch it. You can see right there. Wait, can you? Yes, you can. You can see that it kind of made a divot. And that will line up perfectly to where now I can come in with my knife and pop it off, and then we got a little hole. I've tried it with doing this with drill bits, and you can easily do that. You can pinch it like I just did, and then take a drill and drill it out, or you can just mark it with a marker and drill it out. But this is my favorite way because then everything lines up and it's just a really simple way of doing things. I'm trying to figure out which way I want this to go. I want it to be over here. So then you poke it through the hole. Sometimes they resist a little bit. So that is one benefit of using a drill bit, is that it would be the perfect size first try. But if you kind of just poke it through and work with it, it tends to pop in just like that. Then we come in with the pliers, squish it. Oh, popped my knuckle. And just like that. Where are we? There we are. Just like that, we got a nice little thing holding it together. And then we'll do that all the way around. I try to go one at a time because I've done it where I punch all the holes out at once and then try doing them all in a line, which is doable, but it ended up looking a little weird and not functioning the way I wanted it to. So doing them one at a time, going back and forth and just trying to figure out where you need them to be. Alright, so we're back. You can see what I got done here. I got all the things in here, calling them things. I don't remember what they're called. So I got those 4 put in there, and the knife now fits. Get out of my way. There you go. The knife fits pretty nicely in there. It's a pretty snug fit. Doesn't fall out. Shake it upside down. It's really not going anywhere. So, which is nice because then we don't have to worry about a snap or anything like that. Especially because it's going to be going on your belt like that. Shouldn't be hanging upside down for anything. So now the next step is punching the 2 holes for the belt loop. We're going to be folding it back like this. So that we're not adding up material. We're not adding material like this. That would be a little, that'd get a little weird for the knife. So we're going to be folding it backwards like that. That's what it's going to look like with a couple more snaps put on it. So, and that right there is one beautifully finished sheath. Built a little backwards. Dang it. Well, anyways. There's the sheath. And now to get this stuff off, all the marker and stuff like that, I'm just going to use a little denatured alcohol. Got a small little container here that I use for stuff like that. I think this is one of the most important things in the shop, is I use it for a lot of stuff. Depending on how bad labels are for bottles, that's a good use for it. And then with this, the marker, just a quick wipe, and all the marker gets taken off. Oh, you gotta be able to see it. There you go. See, all the markers off, nice and clean. Just like that. I think we're finished. So, I will see you for the outro. I almost forgot about one of the most important steps. Now that we got it all pinned together, now we can do the final cleanup. That's why I left it a little proud around the edges. You see that, well, can you see? Yeah. The edges don't line up quite right yet. And that's because I didn't know how much it was going to shift before we finished. So now we get to come in, do the last pass, and truly get everything to the size it needs to be. So let's get this done. Alright, then we can come in with any kind of knife and do the final deburring. Get all that plastic off. Get any of these out that we forgot to do. I completely forgot to get the plastic off of this before we rolled it over. But yeah, that right there is a pretty dang nice sheath.
Alright, that's going to be the end of this video. Thank you for hanging around. If you didn't hang around, I don't blame you, but the biggest concern... How are you watching this? Like, and we're not going to worry about that. So, like I was saying, thank you for hanging out with me and on this learning adventure that we had. And I will see you guys next week. Hold on. What are you guys still doing here? I said get out!